Shout out to the Miami Heat, man, for giving us another exciting preseason game, especially on a weekend where you don't have the Hurricanes playing. The Dolphins are on a bye week, so it was nice to sit down and watch some good sports on a Sunday afternoon. Now, the game was much more exciting than it should have been because the Heat were up 20 in the fourth quarter, and then they gave up a massive run to the Pelicans when our Summer League gang came in. But the Heat were able to hold on for the win as they come away with a 2-point victory, 101-99. Now, I guess I should say it wasn't the full Summer League gang because instead of Kashad Johnson, who y'all know is my boy, they had Nasir Little, who hustled. I'll give him that. And then instead of Isaiah Stevens, you also had Zion Poulin, who, just like in Summer League, really didn't look all great that out there. Not saying that he looked bad, but he's just not as much of a factor as I'm guessing they would have hoped for, considering they signed him initially to a two-way contract immediately after the draft, which of course his spot was now given up to Drew Smith, who we'll get into today because it seems like it was the common consensus on Heat Twitter that the Heat fans are rocking with Drew Smith now, or at least they think he had a fine game. And I'm not rocking with Drew, but sure, I'll say he had a fine game, I guess better than usual. But we'll get into that because anyways, we'll start from the jump. Of course, you had Tyler Herro and Jaquez back. They both missed the first game with groin injuries. So that means that today you actually had the first time ever with your starting lineup of Terry, Tyler, Jimmy, Jovic, Bam. Apparently that was literally the first time that lineup has ever started. I had assumed they had got some run last year, but I guess once we acquired Terry, that's when Tyler got hurt, and I guess it ended up being that those five actually never played together, so that was pretty cool to see today. Now, the offense did not look great from the beginning, although the backcourt did, Terry and Tyler, did play pretty well to start, but there was just way too many turnovers from the jump, but I'm not worried about it. It's preseason. I put very little stock into the preseason. There's 3 more games left. If the Heat lose them all, that will not affect my opinion of the team going into the season. I think, what was it? The couple years the Lakers won a championship, every year they lost every preseason game. I could just be making up that stat. I don't know if it's true. It's something like that. But point is, I put very little stock in preseason. Today was supposed, I guess, a first half dress rehearsal, kind of like Spo did in the first game, although Herro missed that game. Burks today got the day off, but that's kind of what Spo will do. I don't think we'll ever see the starters play a full game in the preseason, just because, I mean, for the most part, this core has been together for 6 years now, talking about Jimmy, Tyler, and Bam. I don't think they need a ton of run just to kind of get the chemistry going. So Spo will mess around. He'll tinker with some lineups just to see what works, what doesn't. For example, maybe we'll see a Kel'el Ware and Bam lineup at some point. Maybe we'll see, he'll alternate chances between guys like Kashad Johnson and Nasir Little, Zion Poulin, Drew Smith, and Isaiah Stevens. Although Drew Smith, again, was part of the first group off the bench. So he seems like his spot in the rotation might be locked, which I really do not like to see at all. But there's not too much to say about the game, so we'll kind of go through the box score here and talk about each one of these guys individually. Not so much from Jimmy today. Only played 16 minutes, got you 4 points, but he will be fine. Nikola Jovic today got you 1-3, but he shot 1 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, and the worst part is he had 4 fouls in the game. This one time he hammered Zion as hard as he could, and Zion didn't even budge. He didn't even move at all, and he finished with the and one. But Jovic will obviously have to work on his defense, which he was improving upon last year, and I do have some confidence that he'll continue that improvement going to this season. It just wasn't great today, but because he is a little bit skinny, although he did put on a ton of weight in the offseason, they said he was officially measuring in at 240, which is great, but he's not as big as a guy like Zion, so there will be times like this season where he gets babied a little bit, but I do like his defensive level, I guess, going into this season. But they weren't great today offensively. So I'm wondering if Spo tries to put maybe like a Hayward Highsmith at starting 4. That's really their only other option, unless I guess they try to slide like Bam to the 4 and obviously do the whole Kel'el Ware thing. Or Kevin Love, I guess, too. But anyways, he'll be fine. Bam today got you 6 points, put up 2 threes, didn't hit any of them, but of course we'll monitor his attempts. Tyler Herro was, I think, very, very decent today. Finished 4-9 for 12 points, but he was very, very active on the defensive end, as a lot of people are noticing as well. He had one deflection that led to a dunk fast break. He had another deflection where This one I was kind of mad at because he pulled a transition 3 when I thought he had an open Terry Rozier cutting, but Tyler set his feet, he took his time and cast the triple. And one of the things Spoelstra has said is that he really wants to help this team's 3-point volume get a lot higher. If that comes by taking a few fast break threes, I guess I've always been a guy that likes to get into the lane when you have numbers on a break, but I know we don't see that as much in today's NBA. But he was good today. Terry Rozier was very good as well after he struggled a little bit in the first game, but he did finish with 11 points today on 5 of 9 shooting. He is, again, continues just to be such a refreshing piece for this team because he can quite literally get inside the paint anytime he wants, and he's so much more shiftier than anyone that we've had in a long time. I love the way where he's able to jump in the air and pretty much contort his body however he needs to get the shot off. Because of that, he does tend to take some wild shots sometimes, and I think that led to a little bit of not great consistency last season, but I think maybe his mind was still in Charlotte mode where that team kind of sucked and LaMelo was hurt and he kind of had to take a ton of shots a game. But of course, now he's surrounded with other pieces that can really put the ball in the hoop. So if he's able to maybe find a better balance between using his athleticism and contortion and speed to take tough shots, but also not settling for those and trying to just take smarter, easier shots, I guess, right? Like, I'm trying to say there's a balance, so I'm sure he'll continue to work on that. But it is nice just to have someone that can do what he does because he is a bucket at the end of the day. And he always will be, and he continues to be a great lob passer as too. Had a great one to Bam in the fast break this year. Another point of emphasis Spo and the coaching staff wants to work on is improving the fast break play because they have not been good at that. And I think Terry Rozier is a guy that is elite in the fast break because of his speed and passing. So it was nice that we were able to see a little bit of that today. Moving on to the bench here, Jaquez return. I was very happy with 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, but he had some great hustle today, was diving on the floor. So it is nice to see. It's just nice to see Jaquez back, bro. Like I'm super hype on him going into this year because of the offensive skill set we saw out of him as a rookie. And obviously he was in the scrimmages versus Team USA in the Olympics, and word on the street is he was balling out. So obviously the kid's got a lot of offensive game, and I'm looking forward to his sophomore jump. Moving on, we got Duncan Robinson, 12 points today, 5 of 8 shooting, but only 2 threes. I'm telling you, the versatility of Duncan Robinson continues to get better, and it makes him such a more dangerous player. You had again today, he had a nice little hezzy, then he did the Smitty fake left-hand dribble. I got that move in my bag too, because truthfully, as a slower player, like Duncan Robinson and myself are, relative to our competition, of course, I'm sure he's much faster than me. But as a slower player, that Smitty move, you know, where you got the little left-hand dribble and the fake like you're going back to the top of the key, then you revert back baseline, that's a move that every slow player should have in their bag because it gives you a half a step on the defense if they fall for it, and it's such an easy way to drive baseline and get a reverse. So Duncan had that today, had another great drive and finish, you know, Kyrie-esque layup today. Love what I'm seeing from Duncan, and he looks like he is the same player he was last year when healthy, which is a great player. You also had Haywood Highsmith today. I just wanted to shout him out because he had 6 points and 7 rebounds and a nasty full court spin. I was shocked because 2 years ago, Haywood Highsmith was a guy that I didn't even think could dribble a basketball. It seemed like if he had the ball in his hands for more than 3 seconds, it was a turnover. And obviously, he's gotten much better since then, and now we're seeing him pull out stuff like this. He won't do it consistently, but he did it once in a preseason game, so I'm going to take that. What else we got here? Drew Smith did get you 16 minutes. Like I said earlier, he was one of the first guys off the bench. 4 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Obviously, those are very, very good numbers. But defensively, he was decent today as well. Had the several steals, was hounding his guys. Kind of reminding me of what Gabe Vincent used to do. I want the Heat to get another guy like that. I think they could use more perimeter defenders because outside of course, Jimmy and Bam. But then Haywood Highsmith, you really don't have much of that. And you lost a lot of great perimeter defense over the years, whether it was DeLon Wright is obviously in Milwaukee now. You had Gabe Vincent, you had Victor Oladipo, and I'm sure there's other. Caleb Martin is another one. So it is nice. I think that's maybe why the Heat are valuing Drew Smith so much. It's just because of the defensive stuff. Although I think Isaiah Stevens, of course, is a much better player, and he's undoubtedly a much better facilitator. His defense isn't as great as Drew Smith just because of the size. So maybe that's why the Heat like Drew Smith. But again, he was fine today. I still don't think he deserves a run over Isaiah Stevens, though. I will say that. But moving on here, Kevin Love just got you a couple minutes. Thomas Bryant, 9 points in his 9 minutes. he is what he is, energy guy off the bench. People are very mad about him getting run over Kel'el Ware in the preseason. I just want to say relax. Like, there's 3 games left. For all we know, Brian could get 0 minutes. Ware can get 20. Let Spo get some time to kind of feel these guys out. I don't think this is an indictment on what we will see come regular season. Just because Love and Brian are playing over Ware now, I don't think that's what it means come regular season. I'll just put it like that. But Pelle Larsson today was pretty decent for you. Got your 6 points, hit the 2 game-winning free throws at the end of the game. And then we'll talk about Kel'el Ware. So obviously the Heat were up big. Pelicans making a run back, but who eventually got the lead back again for the Heat after the Pelicans took the lead was Kel'el Ware. They found him down low, and he did a beautiful fake left spin, right over the right shoulder drop step, dunked the ball to give the Heat a lead. So I really like that the Heat went to him again late in the games. Obviously, in the last game versus Charlotte, they gave it to Kel'el Ware to shoot a game-tying 3. He missed. So it's nice to kind of see them go back to him. And today he finished. Obviously, Pelicans did tie it up. And then that's when Pelle Larsson hit the 2 game-winning free throws. So shout out to both those rooks. They had another great connection today. It was like a Nasir Little dive on the floor for the loose ball. Picked up by Ware, gave it to Larsson, back to Ware, alley-oop, dunk. So it's very great. Anytime you see your 2 rookies with that kind of connection. And so far through 2 preseason games, I love the 2 picks. I really do. I guess we can talk about Nasir Little a little bit next. His first run of the preseason today, 15 minutes. He shot 0 for 7. Good God, I didn't realize he was that bad. Now, I knew it was close just because, or I knew it was close to that bad just because I remember him taking a few threes that were bricks. Obviously, that's not really his MO. And truthfully, a lot of Heat fans were excited when the Heat signed him, and I was not. He's always been a relatively good defender in this league, but the offense is just too close to nothing for him to really be impactful in today's NBA, which is weird. In high school, he was one of the highest rated players, was obviously very great coming out of UNC, but it just never translated for whatever reason in the NBA. I'm not sure that he ends up making the final roster because right now he's a non-guaranteed contract. I don't think he ever gets guaranteed contract, at least right now with this team, but maybe he could step it up the rest of the regular season. Zion Poolin's another guy that got a lot of run today for the first time. 15 minutes, 5 points for him, but obviously he didn't really stand out there either and shot 2 of 6, which wasn't great. And then you did get a good amount of Josh Christopher minutes, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for him. The efficiency, again, isn't great like it was last game, but he is also another guy that on the defensive side of the ball is always there. I love the way he hounds the opponent. And just like Drew Smith, I guess I'm trying to say, I don't understand why Drew Smith has been getting more run than Christopher either, or at least why they seem to like Drew Smith more, just because, again, Drew Smith is a 0 on offense, okay defender. I feel like Josh Christopher is just as good on defense with exponentially more versatile and tools on the offensive end. But anyways, I think that's really all we got to say about the Heat for this game. On the Pelican side, not too much there. They did try, obviously. Oh, no, I was going to say they tried to line up with Herb Jones at the center. They didn't. Herb Jones played the 3 because there's some rumors they may play Herb at the 5. I think that's a bit weird. But I do want to shout out Yves Missy because that's the center out of Baylor that they took in the second round that I was thinking the Heat should take, and with their second round pick come this past draft. And he was great today. 4 blocks for him. Seems like a very good defensive big, something that the Heat need. But I think they have that with Kel'el Ware, so we'll be fine in that department. I'm curious to see what the Pelicans do this year. Yesterday, I dropped my Western Conference standings prediction video. I had the Pels at 13. It seems weird because they got a great roster, but I just think every team above them is better. But if y'all want to hear my full thoughts, you could check out that video. That's all I got to say about this game, though. The next game, I think, is in a couple days. Forget who it's against, but y'all can check the schedule. Make sure to like the video and subscribe because all the support is greatly appreciated. And I'll see y'all at the next one. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city trying to get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need that head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.